From the moment you speak, in a couple of seconds, your audience will decide whether they like you, can trust you, and whether you inspire them. Vocal tone. Research shows that your vocal tone will have a 37% impact on your face-to-face communication. It's not what you say, but how you say it. If you're on the phone, 3/4 of your impact will be based on your vocal tone. Our voice triggers an emotional reaction in the listener. When you use a crescendo with your words, your pitch goes higher with each sentence, such as, "I'm really excited about the new plan." So the listener perceives you to be happy. On the other hand, if you're using a decrescendo with your words and your pitch is getting lower and lower, such as, "I'm really excited about the new plan," your listener perceives you to be sad. According to an article in the Telegraph, Margaret Thatcher in the 1970s changed her voice from a shrill housewife to a more powerful, firm, and modulated voice that was feminine and yet impactful. It became her best weapon. In the world of business, people buy you, not the actual product. They need to like you, believe in you, and get emotionally connected. There are 4 parts to your vocal tone. Rate of speech is the number of words you speak per minute. Volume is the amplitude of your voice measured in decibels. Modulation is the number of ups and downs in your voice. And pitch is the frequency of your voice measured in hertz. Let's have a quiz. What is the average rate of speech that a person should speak? A, 105 words a minute, B, 150 words a minute, or C, 175 words a minute? The correct answer is B, an average of 150 words per minute. If you speak 150 words a minute, you will sound at a normal rate. But if your average rate of speech is 105 words a minute, you will sound something like this, and people may think that you're slow and have a lower intelligence. And if you speak fast at 175 words per minute, people will think that you're nervous or there's some rush or you're not sure of what you're saying. Your voice is like a guitar, and the larynx is the channel. The volume comes from your air, and the power comes from your stomach. The air is the finger on your guitar string. The greater the power, the more the projection. You want to match your vocal speed to the situation. If the person you're talking to is talking really slowly, then you want to also talk slowly. If the person you're talking to is talking really fast, then you want to speed up your rate of speech. If you are over the phone, you want to speak slower. And if you're talking to someone in another culture, you want to speak even slower. You want to open your mouth largely and articulate your words clearly so that the other person can hear you over the phone. This will bring clarity to the words you're speaking. You need to vary your rate of speech. Let's look at an example. Investors see Elon Musk as a visionary who sees the future. He has pioneered multiple companies that have been very successful. PayPal, Tesla Motors, SpaceX, and SolarCity are all valued at over $1 billion. This is a commendable achievement. What did you think of this example? If you say the same rate of speech over and over again, it gets repetitive over a longer period of time. You need to vary your rate of speech so that you don't sound like a song playing the same line over and over again. When you want people to focus on something, slow down your rate of speech to 110 to 129 words per minute. That's called slow speaking. When you want to create a sense of urgency or excitement, you want to increase your rate of speech to 160 to 180 words per minute. That's called fast speaking. Let's redo the earlier example. I will slow down my rate and emphasize on the company names, $1 billion, and being a visionary. I will increase my rate when talking about pioneering multiple companies that have been successful. Investors see Elon Musk as a visionary who sees the future. He has pioneered multiple companies that have been very successful. PayPal, Tesla Motors, SpaceX, and SolarCity. All are valued at $1 billion US. This is a commendable achievement. Speaking at the right volume is important. You don't want to be too soft or too loud. If you've been given feedback that you're soft-spoken and frequently asked to repeat your words, then you need to think about speaking at a higher volume. It might feel like you're shouting in your head until you get used to it, but the listener will hear you at a normal volume. Let's look at an example. I need an additional resource to conduct the new hire orientation because we underestimated the number of new joiners. Now, in this example, the volume is 20 decibels, which is too soft. Most people use their voice like this from their throat, which makes you sound very thin and stressed. Let's look at another example. I need an additional resource to conduct the new hire orientation because we underestimated the number of new joiners. Notice the decibel average of 35, which is too loud. You can test your voice on youspeaknow.com. If your average volume is less than 20, then you need to speak louder. And if your average decibel volume is higher than 35, then you need to speak softer. If you're making a speech or in a big meeting, you want to make sure that the back as well as the front of the room can hear you equally. That means increasing your volume without sounding like you're shouting. How do you do that? You can learn it on your own. You don't need a specialist to teach you this. To begin, you need to use your whole body. Just like in football, when a player kicks the ball, they use their entire body. The same is true for projecting your voice. You need to project from the feet all the way to your stomach, to your ribs and your muscles, and out your mouth. Here is a great exercise for projecting your volume. Here is the balloon exercise. Let's practice the sh sound. Breathe in. Now slowly exhale and also use shh, as if you're blowing air into a balloon. By the end of exhaling, your stomach should almost be touching your spine. Breathe in. Now, play with the pressure like this. These are your lower stomach muscles that you use in projecting your voice, and this exercise will help you strengthen them. This is the month exercise. Next exercise, we're going to exhale first and then breathe in. I want you to think about your favorite flower and how it would smell, and then say January, February, March, April, May, June, July. We're going to first exhale, then breathe in, and think of smelling your favorite flower. And now, slowly say as your breath is coming out, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Feel the power of your lower abdomen muscles in projecting your voice. You'll be able to feel the power of your voice coming from your lower abdomen. Let me demonstrate for you. Exhale, breathe in. January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Now we will do the back of the room exercise. Imagine you're looking at the back of the room. You make eye contact with someone and you throw your voice at them. It's as if your vocal cord listened to your mind. Now we turn to pitch. I need an additional resource to conduct the new hire orientation since we underestimated the number of new joiners. Let's look at a lower pitch. I need an additional resource to conduct the new hire orientation because I underestimated the number of new joiners. Pitch is the quality of our voice. We all have our own unique range. The wider the range, the better the voice. Here are 2 exercises to improve the range of your pitch. The bumblebee. Think of yourself like a bee, buzzing zzz around. Now vibrate your lips like the sound of a bee. Some of you might not be able to do this at first, but with continuous practice, you should be able to. While buzzing, you will go up the piano scale and then down the piano scale and stop on the lowest note, just like this. This should last about 6 to 8 seconds. Do this a few times and you'll notice that your vocal range would have lowered. The next time you have a presentation, practice this a few times before so that you have a larger vocal range. Yawn. Might sound strange, but a yawn actually helps us to open up our voice box, relax our jaw and neck muscles. We sound our best when our muscles are not constrained. Avoid lifting your chin, hunching over, or arching your neck or body, because it tenses up your muscles and reduces the amount of air you take in while breathing. Your breath is shallow and you sound squeakier, and it strains your voice. Before an important call, meeting, or presentation, try and yawn 3 or 4 times. It'll really help to open up your voice. These pitch exercises will give your voice a more dramatic impact. Vocal modulation is the music of your voice and grabs the audience attention. The opposite of good modulation is a flat, monotonous tone, which makes the audience think you're less creative, puts them to sleep, and lacks an emotional connect. What does a monotonous voice sound like? Here's an example. I need an additional resource to conduct the new hire orientation because we underestimated the number of new joiners. U-Speak graph is able to capture this monotonous tone. This U-Speak graph demonstrates very little to almost no vocal modulation. See how flat the graph is. How do you improve a flat vocal tone? The smile. Smiling while speaking makes you sound more energetic and convincing. Here's a tip. On the phone, your facial expressions are conveyed through your vocal tone. Make sure you're smiling when you're talking to someone so that your voice will sound better. The emphasis. Think about what you want the sentence to imply. Here's an example. Listen to the sentence meaning and how it changes. I didn't say I met that customer means I didn't say it, someone else did. I didn't say I met that customer means I didn't say it. Maybe it was written in an email or unspoken. I didn't say I met that customer means I didn't meet that customer, someone else in the team did. If you want to work on this, practice a few times, then record your voice into your phone and ask someone else to listen to it and see if they hear the same meaning you are trying to project. Key tips to improve your vocal modulation. Number 1, write your script word for word. Number 2, then go back and underline and bold the words that you want to emphasize. 3, now practice saying your script out loud. Number 4, when you get to that word that is bold and underlined, remember to increase your volume on the word and pause briefly after. And number 5, then continue on with the rest of the sentence. Let's look at our earlier example. I need an additional resource to conduct the new hire orientation because we underestimated the number of new joiners. Notice in this U-Speak graph, the tone is very modulated. To summarize, it takes all 4 parts of your voice, rate of speech, volume, pitch, and modulation to make a great impact. Visit uspeaknow.com to practice and get scored on your voice. Go to our website, mygen.ai, for more details.